Okay, today we are doing integer operations card sort, reviewing the rules of multiplication and division with the positives and negatives. So this first one is just giving you a hint that you could push this little undo button if you make a mistake. All right, so it says read each expression and determine if the answer would be in positive or a negative integer, then drag it into the correct column. So I will tell you and remind yourself of the rules. A negative times a negative equals a positive. A negative times a positive equals a negative. A positive times a negative equals a negative. And a positive times a positive equals a positive. So it's similar to, no, not really. Two positives equals a positive. Two negatives equal a positive. And a negative and a positive equals a negative. So in this case, when you're multiplying and dividing, the negative wins if there's only one of them. The positive wins if there's two of them. Okay, so this one right here has I need to get out of that thing. Has a negative 8 and a positive 12. So I have a negative and a positive. So that'll be negative. I wish that I could write on it. So let's write on a couple of these just to make sure. This one is a negative and a negative. This one's a positive and a negative. This one's a negative and a negative. This one's a negative and a positive. This one's a negative and a positive. But you get what I'm showing you. So then once I've labeled that, a negative and a negative equals positive. Same thing as what I've kind of told you here. Okay. A positive and a negative is a negative. A negative and a negative is a positive. A negative and a positive is a negative. So I know that there's been some tic-tac-toe rules. There's been different ways that this has been taught. But basically, positive times positive is positive. Negative times negative is positive. So I would write those down somewhere. Those rules that I had earlier. So write these in your notes somewhere. If you don't still have the notes that we printed, problem is I can't leave this up here and do the work. So you need to make sure that you have this written somewhere. Because once I click this button, it goes away. Negative, negative, positive. Positive, negative. So I only have one negative. That goes here. Two negatives goes here. One negative goes here. One negative goes here. Two negatives goes here. One negative goes here. No negatives. This one has no negatives. Goes to positive. So I'll finish this, but you all have to finish it the rest of the way and then check your answers.